Today is Saturday, January the 9th, and this is the video for Friday, January the 8th. And frankly, I'm surprised that the McClellan oscillator has been churning right here because we've just had 2 days where we've made new closing highs in the market. And you would think that we would be going into an over bought position, but that's not the case. And when you look at FinViz yesterday, you had advancers barely beating decliners in these 6,000, almost 7,000 ish symbols. So, and volume was normal. NASDAQ volume was above normal. S&P 500 volume was normal. And really the advancers and decliners were so close that the McClellan oscillator hasn't really had a chance to get away from neutral. I find that very interesting. So let's look at the charts now. Here's the S&P making another new high and finishing the day off at the high. The market actually did pull back, and it pulled back quite steeply. If you look at these Fibonacci's from the prior day, let's see, well, let's not. The fact is, it looked like we were going to have problems, and this was after Manchin from Virginia or West Virginia, senator, said he would not support the $2,000 stimulus. I think the market said, oh, we're not going to get that stimulus because you need every one of those Democratic senators. No Republicans are going to go with it. And I think they realized that that's not the case, that probably some Republican senators may just side with additional stimulus. And Biden is talking about a huge multi-trillion-dollar stimulus package that would include money for people who have had a hard time during COVID, for businesses, for governments, for educational institutions, and an infrastructure program. So the market did turn around, and we can see now that we've got, since January the 4th, since the beginning of the year, we just had this initial drop, but we've been going up pretty steadily since then, and there's no reason to think that other than a small little pullback, we're not going to continue to head up to the 4,000 range slowly but surely. Apple, I got out of my short puts because I found out that earnings is not February the 2nd, as I found on one website, but Apple is saying that their earnings are now going to be January the 27th, I think, and I had options expiring January the 29th, meaning the closer we got to my options expiry, the higher up the volatility would go, and even if price is going up and my price of my put would be going down so I could close it for a better profit, the volatility would be eating away at my profit. So I just decided to take the $350 profit and move on. But I do want to get back into it, but I'm going to wait until the volatility in the Apple calls increases, because it will drop right after earnings, and I want to get the premium, not only for taking a risk at selling at the money puts, but I also want to get the advantage of the additional premium that I would collect because the volatility is going to be high. So Apple is still looking really good for making a double top at 138.79. This would be almost a triple top, right? Let's look at some of our other stocks. ZI, which I added another 100 shares to, is looking pretty good. Let's see, this is our primary analysis here. This is the fib line, this is the trend line that I was worried about, saying if we lose that trend line, I wanted to get out, but we didn't. We're moving up. We were stopped yesterday by the 61.8% fib, and I've bought 300 shares at this was my first purchase, my second, and then my third. And I'm just going to keep adding to this play as it moves on. Now, I did sell some short calls. At the end of the day, I sold next week's 45 calls for $1.45. So my break even next week would be $46.45. Not much of a profit, but you know, that's what I do. I always hedge my bets, and I always cover my stock with short calls, and that way, you know, it's like a guy who's climbing up a peg wall. I'm making progress slowly but surely, and I'm constantly inserting a peg into another position higher up on the wall and dragging myself up to that. So I'm not looking to be catapulted to the top. I want to get to the top slowly and surely, and I want to always have one peg in each hand, and I want to be standing on two pegs, right? So, I don't know if that analogy makes any sense. Square had a great day today. Zach was saying that it's because of the talk of Square and Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I don't understand cryptocurrency. I've never played it. I don't own it. But if it helps the Square stock, I mean, that's great. I'm still in a great position here where I've got I've got 300 shares with next week's short 240. And you can see that we closed at 241. There was a rush up towards the end of the day. Here's the 5-minute chart. Again, Square went down with the rest of the market and then powered back up. Not quite as much as the market, but it did reverse back up. So I'm still feeling good about next week's short 240 call, 242.5, and I've got February 250 calls that I sold for $6.25. No, that I sold for $7.64. So I'm pretty happy about that. NIO had a big day in China yesterday, which would have been their Saturday, or Friday, I don't know. But anyways, they released a new car. And the stock popped up yesterday. That was before they announced their new car, their new model. So look for, I think, a pretty sizable bounce on Monday. And you can see that we were stopped twice during the day at the R4, and we sort of pulled back at the end of the day. So where am I for NIO? I've got 500 shares, and I am short next week's 55s, and the stock is at 58.92. I was able to roll those, and now those 55 calls are worth $4.92. So I feel pretty good about being in the $59 area, which is right where we are now. But like I said, that's how I make progress, slowly but surely. Caterpillar continues to move up. This shark pattern has hit its second target and moved beyond it. This stock is going to go crazy if we get infrastructure. Kramer, I don't watch his show, but I do catch the headlines, is saying that this is a stock that's going to benefit from the vaccine, something we've been saying here for a couple of weeks, that Zach or Andy, I'm sorry, I always confuse you guys, but these are the two guys who comment the most in, on these videos, and I really like their comments, and I've always zeroed in on the stocks that they take a look at. I'm going to take a look at a few others later. Takeda was one that Zach was talking about last week. But CVS has now popped up over this line that we had called resistance because of these 5 candles here. So it's heading towards 80 and then 92. So if you want to get into CVS, I've never traded drugstore companies before, but it could be a reasonable bet. I would take a look at the volatility on some of the calls, maybe even sell some of the puts if you want to own the stock at a lower price. The banks yesterday pulled back just a tiny bit, but they're still doing great. Look at JP Morgan and the 5th or 6th largest bank. This is a monthly chart. Let's look at the daily. It pulled back as well, but still tremendous gains there. Here's some of the new stocks that we've been looking at. Here's Takeda. Zach was looking at Takeda, and if it was Andy, I apologize. Here is the Fibonacci that I decided to apply here. Could have applied this one, but I decided to take this Fibonacci to see if that's what people are looking at. And I also drew this trend line between these 2 points. But this Fibonacci seems to fit because there's the 88.7 minor Fibonacci's, and I don't like using minor Fibonacci's, but if I go up there, they become 78.6 Fibonacci's, and I'm maybe more comfortable with those. So this may be, in fact, a better fit. Either one of these would work. the comment was made that uh, you know the Ichimoku works well on Japanese stocks. Frankly, I never thought that. This is a Japanese pharmaceutical company, and they once had a big deal with Abbott. I don't think they do anymore. But I find that the uh, Ichimoku system works well regardless. But what I'm seeing in Takeda right now, I wouldn't want to get into Takeda until we got over $19. And then where would the stock be going? It could be going to 2087, where it's going to double top, and that's just not the kind of spread that I'm too interested in. RKT, we sort of forgotten that one, but now it's coming above the trend line. Wouldn't get into this stock if I liked it until it got above that trend line. DDD is one that Anne-Marie trades, at Anne-Marie Trades, who mentored me for 7 years. I was in her chat room. Wonderful, unbelievable trader. Please look her up on Twitter. And if she's still doing live trading and live, you want to learn, join her chat room. There's no one better than her. She called this stock, but I think she did it on this big pull up here. This is the old 3D printing company that has just languished for so long and has been punished for so long, but now it's taken off. Do your homework on it. This was a big pull up yesterday and then a draw back. So I wouldn't be rushing into a stock that acts like that. VERU is a stock that was called out by, I don't know what they do, was called out by Trader Stewie, another uncanny trader, never been in his chat room, haven't subscribed to his trades, but he used to give away his trades for free. Now he doesn't do that so much, but here's one that he released on Twitter saying that he thought that this was going to be a big winner. This is a bull flag, and if you want to get into this stock, you'll want to do it after it crosses 993, and its next stop should be 1145, and it doesn't have a history any higher than that, so you want to apply your Fibonacci's maybe to this move up here and drawing an extension Fibonacci. We have a double top there, almost a triple top, so we could take that and see. I mean, this is already stretching at 238.2. Probably not the best Fibonacci's we could draw. We could do maybe, reversing this one. Anyways, I'm going to let you do it. Take a look at this Fibonacci set. Maybe just do from here to here. Do a retracement on that, or do an extension on that. Let's just get rid of this. Come on, hit the right key. Let's do an extension on that, and let's see where it could be going if it was moving higher. Where's a good base point? This looks like a good base point right here. So where would we be going if we were going above $11.40? We'd be going up to $14.77 eventually. So keep an eye on VERU. I've set an alert so when it crosses above this channel line that I've drawn, and that channel line is going to be lower on Monday, so there's a good chance it's going to break. So watch that one for any acceleration, and that could be a good trade. So have a good weekend. You know what's happening in Washington. Keep an eye on the next 2 weeks. Some stupid things could happen.